And welcome back to Daily Wrap. It's time for Yay or Nay. First up, the flags on top of the White House and Capitol buildings were lowered to half-mast today in honor of the victims of the Chattanooga shootings last week. It's been 5 days since the shooting took place, so I have to ask, did the White House intend to wait this long, or were the flags finally lowered because of all the criticism they received? Brad Hirschfield.
If this was purposeful, Josh Earnest did everything in his power to make us think the opposite yesterday. It was like a deer in the headlights when they asked. No, I think people said, folks, what are you doing? 4 and now 5 service people were murdered. Lower the flag.
Right, Heather, and it happened after Fort Hood. It happened after plenty of tragedies.
And after the Aurora shooting and the Connecticut shooting, it is beyond my comprehension. There's no explanation for it, and I think it was on purpose.
Just miscommunication, Rick? Or?
Well, there actually is an explanation, which I won't go into because I think it's screwed up. I think they messed this up completely. Those flags should have been at half-mast the day after, like the state was. Yeah. This is just another White House communications screw-up.
Okay. I agree with you on that. Rush Limbaugh is defending Donald Trump after Trump declared John McCain is not a war hero. According to the talk radio host, the whole controversy has been fueled by what he calls the, quote, drive-by media, says that a lot on the show, adding that when the left criticizes McCain, it's totally fine. Limbaugh says the billionaire can survive this and even called the fight between the two men a teachable moment. This, as the Huffington Post and now the right-wing Des Moines Register are demanding Trump call it quits, despite being a clear #1 in several national polls. Is Trump proving he's Teflon, Rick Unger?
Well, I think that it's proving that Rush Limbaugh is Teflon, because I'm pretty sure it's the same Rush Limbaugh who a few days ago was suggesting that Trump was a mole planted in the Republican primary to benefit Hillary Clinton. So which is it, Rush? One or the other?
Heather?
Listen, I think that Trump's numbers are going to drop in response to what's gone on this week. And I think Rick's right, what you said earlier. They may go back up again. We are a long way out, and we have a lot of guffs for all of these people to make.
I'll give Rush credit for one thing. It's a teachable moment. It was wrong when Al Franken said this stupid stuff years ago, and it was wrong when Donald Trump said it this week.
Don't forget Chris Rock, Brad. Yeah. All part of a 2008 HBO special.
Yeah, who came up with it first, right?
That's true, yes. You might want to clear your calendars now for Tuesday, November 8th, because it's my Grandma Concha's birthday, but more importantly, Americans are too busy to vote. The Washington Post is reporting that only 36% of voters turned out for last year's midterm election. And while midterms usually have lower turnout rates than presidential elections, last year's turnout was the lowest since 1942, according to the Census Bureau. We're too busy to make it on voting booths, two voting booths, I should say, on Election Day. Other reasons include not being interested, being sick or disabled, being out of town, or just plain forgetting. We should probably add apathy to that as well. Is there just too much good TV on in the fall to bother voting during election time, Brad? It's embarrassing.
No, we've got to vote. It is embarrassing. We've lost the thread of connection between all that stuff we work at and have in this country and voting.
Just a little over a third, Heather. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, you think about all the women and African Americans who fought for the right to be able to vote, and then to have that apathy. It's a lack of engagement, but there's no excuse for it.
Rick?
I always say, if you don't vote, I don't want to hear you complain. Of course, people lie, and they say, well, I did vote, so I'm going to complain. Well, they don't vote, and it's outrageous. I really think it's time we take a serious look at changing Election Day to a day that makes it easier for people to get there. It may not solve the problem. Saturdays works, maybe Sunday works, but we need to look at this.
I agree. I think Saturday makes sense. This way, I mean, you should be able to go even after work or before, but sometimes you get caught in traffic and all that nonsense. Anyway, a diner in Maine is under attack on social media for yelling at a 21-month-old child, it's the age of my kid, for screaming in a restaurant on Sunday. The owner, who defends her actions, says the child was screaming for 40 minutes in the busy diner before she finally slammed her hands on the counter and told her to be quiet.
Life's full of choices, and you got to live with all of them. I chose to yell at the kid. It made her shut up, which made me happy. It made my staff happy. It made the other 75 people in the restaurant happy. And they left. They may never come back. Other people may not come in. They're lost, really.
Apologize.
Yes, and we're talking about anger. We got an anger problem.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think so. I think that she finally had enough, and she was standing up for the other customers.
Agreed, but the parents should have taken the kid out.
Parents should have taken an iPad there and put on Peppa Pig, and that would have controlled the whole thing. Anyway, on behalf of Rick Hunter and the rest of the panel, thanks for joining us. Steve Malzberg's show is next. Stay tuned.